start here. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, Ignacy Civjek, Portal Games.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacor. You are listening to Board Games Insider, and it's episode 215, and we're recording it on November 3rd, 2021. Board Games Insider is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network, and Tom Vassell continues to mock the Podfather's new ride. On Facebook, Vassell had the nerve to say that, quote, Bonacor will play many games with people at the upcoming Dice Tower retreat this week, and somehow he will sit in such a way that all the players at the table will be able to see that Corvette. Again, maybe Tom is not always wrong. Hashtag Tom is wrong.
This time, I must
right.
agree with Tom. Yes, he must be right.
Anybody listening to me, if they want to see the car, if they're going to be at the retreat, if they want to ride in the car, I'll give you a ride. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun taking another, 2.5 hour trip. So love doing that.
I'm watching our Zoom here, and why the hell my Polish camera is so gray and your Florida camera is so bright? Like, why your video is so much better? What the hell is with the Slavic infrastructure here?
No, well, okay, this is called having a light. Let me show you. You see this light here that I now just shined? Put the light above your head, shine it at the wall, or put one on your computer shining at you, and all of a sudden you look pretty like me. You take a little more time to look pretty, but it's close enough.
Okay, so we are in the stage that at some point we'll do a makeup and like super professional. Okay, I get it.
You need a light facing you somehow. Mine shines off my very white wall there, and it works out. Anyway.
Once again, you proved me you're a professional.
We've gotten better at this over time. So
that is true.
That's true. Hey, buddy. So tell me, please, what is happening at Portal Games this week?
First of all, guys, you all, not all, some of you missed Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition, and I am not sorry for you. I was talking about this for months, and you just missed the amazing offer, and now some of you will be paying double that on eBay or other secondary markets just to get when all the photos of people receiving the copy will pop up in the Facebook, and you will be, oh my God, I wish I backed it. Ignacy is not sorry for you. Ignacy is Slavic. Ignacy is honest. You had your chance. Going back to pre-orders and street dates, as we talk every single week, Dune House Secrets, Dreadful Circus, and Petty Officers, our 3 Q4 releases, all of them on the market. And if you want to save some money using my discounts on my website, that bothers me that I'm giving away discounts, but I am forced by my sales team. So yes, visit portalgamesus.com and check out the Black Friday week, Black Friday deal, whatever they came up. Yes, we are basically giving us away stuff. So yes, take advantage of that and check out portalgamesus.com. Amazing Dune House Secrets, amazing Dreadful Circus from Bruno Faiduti, and amazing Pet Officers from Mike Selinker. All 3 games and all other our releases like Vienna Connection, our June release also in this holiday special pack. So check it out. The things that are most interesting for me was happening at HQ, what's happening here in Poland. Final playtesting on Steel Police, a new army for the Neuroshima Hex app. So in most likely next week when we are recording, I will be already showing up the released army. I wrote the article, and I strongly recommend to check it out at portalgamesus.com on the website, a breakdown of design process in Dune, and I wrote a piece in which I compare components of Detective with the components of the Dune, and I show that on the first look, these are the same components, but with some small tweaks, suddenly the experience is very different because of design process. Like Detective has a board, Dune has a board, but they have a different purpose. Detective has a tokens, Dune has a tokens. They were completely different in this game. So if you are into design process, if you are into design challenges and how designers are tweaking stuff, check out this 2-part article, a breakdown of design process in Dune. And I hope it will be very, very interesting for you to see how I took existing game Detective and changed it to the Dune House Secrets. So this is my writing. And next week I have my all developers in-house, because some of them are not working at HQ, some of them are working in different cities, but we are gathering all together next week to the final round, final approvals for 11. Our Game Found campaign has finished. The game is most likely ready to print, but I have to give these final approvals. So we have this 2 days marathon of the final playtesting of the base game, of expansions or stretch goals, everything. And basically, I hope to give green light for this production. And then my production team will take the projects from my development team. And the last part of my section of the podcast, the video of the week, we posted extremely fun video, very short, 3 minutes, very short, 3 minutes video, gameplay footage for Dune House Secrets. So what happened? Because this is very interesting. I had my friends and volunteers from Portal Games US who played a prologue, the first mission, the prologue for Dune House Secrets, and they recorded the whole thing. And I watch it. I loved it to see how are they playing, how they are thinking, debating. For designers, it's a pure fun to see people enjoying your design. So I watched this and I cut it into 3 minute like tease of how the game looks like how you play it, how you discuss, how you read the cards, like in one very short. So there's no spoilers because from the 1 hour, just 3 minutes, so you will not spoil anything. But you see people talking, discussing, brainstorming, and you see actually how the game works. So very proud. We didn't do anything like that in the history of the company to show like an example of the gameplay, but in a 3 minutes form. Just see how it works. And so I strongly recommend you to check out this video. I'm very proud of what we did with the editing.
It's all in Polish, of course, so you can't.
Of course, it is not.
That's a really cool thing to do, man. That you were able to just you condense
distilled, yeah.
You distill it. You condense a gameplay into like 3 minutes, and of course, in something like this, a game that you'll spoil easily.
Yeah, but I showed them how they read the card. Then they are the surprised with something. Then they are drawing the tokens. Like all these moments of the gameplay distilled in the 3 minutes in English by my volunteers from America. Very fun stuff.
And when you say you did it, you mean like Marek did it.
I didn't know which moments are important for him. Like he had these timestamps, and yes, then Marek did all the thing.
So for the people who don't know, Marek is Ignacy's video editor. He's a great guy, and of course, I see him like every time, like when this podcast starts, because he's constantly helping him with his video for the YouTube portion of this.
Without Marek, this company would be in trouble. That's
there you go. Great stuff. I can't wait to see that because I obviously have not started yet, but I want to play it, and that'll be a great little teaser for
you can show it to Paula and say, Paula, look what we are playing.
Well, we're gonna do this. That's right. So over here at the Podfather of Gaming, Ignacy's gonna be very sad about this. Great news on the remodeling, my stage 2 remodeling of upstairs. He's all upset. I can see it in his face. The one of the bathrooms will be like completed this week, which is so good. We don't have a bathroom on the top floor here, where you sleep, which is really annoying, especially if you gotta go.
We have the saying in Poland: don't throw the calendar before the end of the year. Maybe something will happen this week. You don't know.
We just got the countertops in for the bathroom, and they look astonishing. So for the rest of this week, they're coming back to put in the faucet. So all the fixtures, the shower will be in. And at that point, the bathroom is basically going to be working. They'll have to do, and the lighting will go in this week as well. So at that point, the bathroom is working. They'll probably have to do some painting touch-ups and things. But like, yes, I got a bathroom. I don't have to like go downstairs to take a shower and, use the bathroom. So awesome stuff. Very, very cool. Progress being made. It makes me so happy, but still lots of other issues with the glass and things like that. So, almost there. We're almost there for at least one of the bathrooms, and the other one is coming along slowly. On the con scene, as I mentioned a moment ago, Dice Tower Retreat, the second one for the year, which the other one was only 2 months ago, is happening this week. As you hear this podcast, when it drops, we'll be in Orlando, having a great time up there. If anybody ever gets a chance to go to one of the Dice Tower retreats, it's sort of like the gathering of friends. We talk about that a lot. Less industry people, more gamers. Of course, all of the Dice Tower people are there, and everyone's just gaming with you, having a great time. This, like Dice Tower East, the convention, is at the Carib Hotel, which is a resort in Orlando. And of course, with Orlando comes all the stuff you can do there. You take an extra several days on the beginning or the end of the thing, and you can go to Disney, Universal, go to the Kennedy Space Center, only about 45 minutes away. It's great. So I look forward to the Dice Tower retreat number 2 so much. Can't wait for that. And of course, as I mentioned, you can see the car, and I'll give you a ride. And I'm also, by the way, I'm clearing out all the old Stronghold promos from my house. I asked Travis if he wants them, I'll send them. They took something, and the rest of it, like, now we're not selling promos these days. So I'm going to be bringing some stuff. And if you guys see me, remind me and say, you got some promos? I'll hand you some stuff. So when you hear this, hopefully you hear it during the retreat, and then I can hand you some stuff that I might have.
Awesome.
So do that. What else we got? And then right after that, it's BGG Con. Literally, I get back one day at home, then we fly out to BGG Con. Again, one of my favorite cons of the year, in Dallas. Can't wait to see all my friends there. I haven't seen them in 2 years. So that's going to be funny. From there directly to Thanksgiving in New Jersey, back, and then PAX and more fun trips, which I'll get to later as we get closer.
This is the saddest segment of the podcast ever. Like, your bathroom is ready. I'm not at the Dice Tower retreat. I'm not at the BGG Con in Dallas. Like, I'm starting to crying right now.
Next year, we want to see you. Everybody asks about you, Ignacy. We have to see you next year.
I miss American conventions, really.
Good. Excellent. Now let's get to the event deck. So we're going to just do a little bit of news and do lots of questions, but there was a couple of important things that happened here. One of them, very, very weird story, and this has to do with the company Yellow. Now, Yellow is a French company. I think most people out there might know that, but they have a USA subsidiary. So there's Yellow France and Yellow USA. And they released a statement. France did. French board game company Yellow is severing ties with Yellow USA. And its COO, Stéphane Brassard, the company announced. The company, quote, has decided to rethink the distribution of its products, Yellow and Loki, it's another brand, in the United States and in Canada, unquote. And it said it in their announcement, quote, consequently, Yellow, through its legal advisor, terminated the distribution agreement effective on December 31st, 2021, which authorizes Yellow USA to distribute Yellow products in the US, ending any collaboration with Stéphane Brassard, COO of Yellow USA. Here's the most interesting portion. Yellow reserves the right to communicate at a later date on the reasons which led to these decisions. Now, the weirdest part of this, of course, is that one would think that Yellow USA was a wholly owned subsidiary of Yellow France.
Like Portal Games USA and Portal Games.
Portal Games Poland and Portal Games USA. Ignacy owns, or Ignacy's company owns, all of, Portal Games USA. And if you wanted to close the company down, you would just close the company down. But, you know, it serves as a vehicle to facilitate things in the US. Unlike, obviously, in this case, where Yellow France was selling games or sending games to Yellow USA, who then did the distribution, or sold to distributors, at least. I believe sold to the distributors. An interesting, different type of relationship. Of course, the situation gets a little murkier and weirder because Stéphane Brassard is now out of the publishing business. He's no longer going to be, publishing or distributing any of the games from Yellow. He is, of course, as we've mentioned many times, the president of the board of directors of Gamma, which that will continue. Technically, that's not the way it's structured anymore, but same idea, on the board of Gamma. Stéphane's a very good friend of mine. I did reach out to hope that he was okay. Everything's okay. He said, everything's okay, Stephen, don't worry. I did not press him for more info. This is so new. This just came out 2 days ago on Monday, and I did not want to bother him or ask him for more details, which might actually be things that we can't talk about if they're of a personal nature with him. But that is where it is. And this was definitely big news in the industry this week. Ignacy, any comments?
There is one more piece that showed up. I don't know if it was hours ago or days ago, but also very, very recent. ICV2 also informed that Stefan had 25% of shares in Yellow USA.
Yellow.
Yellow as a company had 25% of shares, and 25% and another 25% was by the two owners of Yellow Friends. So like technically French side of the company company had 75% of shares, and Stefan had 25%.
Stefan.
Yep. So this is exactly as we said, a different that compared to Portal Games USA. This press release is for me extremely confusing. Like it says, like it lays so much things not exactly explained, so much things, to build some crazy theories. It is so much creating images in the heads of the gamers. So instead of saying something super simple and closing the topic, it opens the gates for all the rumors and gossip what might happen. And you said that the most shocking part of like every sentence in this press release is very, very weird and strange. For me, the most one is that Yellow will rethink the strategy. Like it is like we are stopping the cooperation. We have no plan. We will build the plan on the go. This is not how you operate when you operate quite a big business. Yellow is a big company. It is as we call them here in this podcast, this medium-sized company. Like they have a couple of hits, like King of Tokyo, of course, being the biggest one.
Sure.
So this is not the company that we can say this is like one crazy dude. No, this is like a legit company with many employees. So sending such a press release is very, very strange for me. I know Yellow people for years. They were our first international partner for Portal Games. They did Neuroshima Hex in French in 2008. So it was like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, many years ago.
Right.
And we became industry friends. I didn't reach to them because this press release is so weird that I didn't want, to step on some different ground. So yeah, we need to see what will come up later, this story, but it's very, very strange.
Yeah, agreed. More to follow, very possibly. The World Series of Board Gaming, which we had reported on, is something that's going to be happening in 2022 in Las Vegas, September 28th to October 2nd. They've unveiled more of the plans, and they have started selling tickets to gamers out there. The tickets start at $250 for one ring event, up to $900 if you want to enter in 4 ring events, but that includes staying at Bally. So that would include all of the cost of being there, except for like food. They've announced all of the games that will be played at the World Series of Board Gaming. So there's going to be somewhere between 2 and 4 games per day that you can get into, 1 per day, with depending on which of the tickets that you purchased. Just to mention a few, Terraforming Mars is going to be played, which is interesting. Dune Imperium, some classics like Carcassonne and Ra, Wingspan, Brass Birmingham, Dominant Species Marine. So Catan is there. So this is a very interesting concept to me. Obviously, not every gamer is going to be into such a thing. But for people who want to really compete at a new level and want to like really step up their game, and end up getting, if they do win one of those ring events, getting this gold ring that they could wear, and potentially winning the whole thing for $25,000 and a gold bracelet. It's kind of really an interesting idea. And I know that they've already shown that there are going to be certain people, like some media people that will be there. So there's going to be a lot of coverage of this event in September, October of 2022. I know I'm very interested in continuing to follow this.
The more I hear about this event, the more positive I am about the whole idea. At the very beginning, it was for me very confusing, fun, but confusing. The more I hear, the more I learn, the more I think about this event, I'm more excited. Obviously, as most of the publishers, I would love to have my game in this selection of these titles being played, because of course these 16 games will get a lot of attention. Like these games will sell in upcoming months much more, because people will hear about them, will play test them, will practice them. So obviously it is great for these couple of publishers. But besides that, often in the podcast we say in this last moment, in the last segment, that we both have one similar thing, that is we play for fun. Like we love laughs at the table and social element, and we are not per se to win the game. We are at the table just to have fun. But there's also gamers who love to win.
Sure.
And there is not a big tournament scene for board games. We have tournament scene for CCGs, we have a tournament scenes for miniature games, but there was not a big tournament scene for the board gamers. And if there is somebody with this DNA of competing, challenging, winning, this is a great thing for them. So I appreciate this event. I'm super happy for all those people who wanted to prove themselves as being the best, being great gamers. The selection is very different. There is light games, there is heavy games, there is dominant species like super heavy game. So to win this whole tournament, you really need to know so many different games, so many different styles, and you need to be really, really good. So as I said, the more I think about this event, I appreciate that. This is not event for me. I would lose immediately first round and get hit off. But I appreciated the different approach to our hobby, like just challenges and competing.
Agreed, 100%. Little acquisition going on here. Goliath Games acquires Endless Games. Now, Goliath, which was founded in 1980, is one of the few remaining family-owned global toy and game companies, and is the distributor of a range of products, including Rummikub. Obviously, that's their biggest game. This is a mass market company, Goliath. But now they're acquiring Endless Games, which was founded in 1996 by industry veterans Mike Gasser, Kevin McNulty, and game inventor Brian Turtle, who contributed to the success of games such as Trivial Pursuit, Pictionary, and 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. So some mass market cred going on there. They're going to continue Endless Games to operate independently out of their New Jersey office, and plan to fully integrate with Goliath's distribution network by the first quarter of 2022. And Goliath is a very big company, again, in the mass. They sell products in 75 countries and have offices in the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Denmark, Germany, Poland, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada. So an interesting combination of companies here. Neither one are really get heavily into hobby stuff, but again, seeing more of this consolidation and companies coming together who do have good products going forward.
Yeah, and I have to say that I miss my segment Asmodee buys. So hey, Asmodee, don't be lazy, buy somebody.
Very good. Let's all play pink. What does that mean? Well, Asmodee is coming out with pink trains. Ticket to Ride, play pink. Days of Wonder, Asmodee, and the Breast Cancer Research Foundation have all teamed up for a first in the board game industry. An exclusive train set is being released that will have classic pink coloring used by the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. The profits made from this special edition will all go toward breast cancer research worldwide. I can't tell you how much I love this. And thank you for putting this in here. I should have had this in here already because it was reported previous to this. For only $5, you'll be sending half of that value, essentially half of that value, over to breast cancer research, something like that. Wonderful. So it's a full train set that can be used in Ticket to Ride and Ticket to Ride Europe. Fantastic.
And I put it on very on purpose here to say once again, because sometimes in the podcast we say, and Ignacy is whining and complaining, it is so difficult to compete with Asmodee. It is so difficult to be on the market as a small independent publisher against this big gorilla. But I also say Asmodee is also doing amazing things for our hobby or here in general. Like if Portal Games releases something to support this foundation, I would sell 1,000 or 2,000 copies of this product, and I would not help too much this foundation. When Asmodee doing something like that, and if Asmodee is putting pink trains, tens of thousands of people will buy these trains, and tens of thousands of people will help this foundation.
Yep.
So this is the moment when Asmodee is doing amazing job, and I fully applaud it. And this is why we have this big gorilla in our industry, sometimes to do something exceptionally good.
A very, very, very positive thing that large companies can do, right? It's really, really cool. That's all the news. Let's get to strategy and tactics. So this first question is okay to ask?
Sure.
All right. Making sure Andy Harris, who's at K26DP, he says, Ignacy, are you still looking to publish a game co-designed with Eric Lang? I'm really enjoying Eric's Cthulhu Death May Die co-designed with Rod Davio. I want to see this game with you and Eric. What's going on?
Yeah, we were working with Eric on a pretty amazing game. Let's be honest. And then he got hired by Simon, and his contract was constructed the way that he can work only for Simon. So the game, at some point, I discussed with Eric that I will continue by myself to finish the game, but it was not that much fun, finishing the project without Eric. So I stopped. Then Eric, I think it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago, left Simon. So he's once again back. So he reached me. Are we getting back to our prototype to finish it? But Ignacy, back then, was just signing the contract for Dune, and 3 games of Dune means like a ton of work for me. So I said, Eric, yes, I'd love to finish it with you, but now I need to finish my stuff. So yeah, so we cannot synchronize our schedule. But the game, there is really a game. There is really a very interesting, innovative idea that is still not on the market. So even though there's so many years already passed and nobody did what we wanted to do, so hopefully after the Dune contract is over, I will have some schedule synchronized with Eric and sit down and finish the game. I love him. I love his design. I love him as a person. It was always my dream to work with him, and at some point it will happen.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing what that collaboration produces. Jason F.
This is a game that you will love. Just spoiler alert. This is type of games that we both like, with a lot of talk and some treason.
Oh my, no, I can't wait for this. Jason F., who's at David Wooderson. That's great. He has 2 names there. He says, any speculation on what sort of rights situation allows both Upper Deck and Fantasy Flight Games to publish a Marvel cooperative card game? Seems like normally a publisher gets some exclusivity for the IP and licenses. Let me go first on that. Jason or David, the answer is every contract is going to be different. With such huge licenses, it is very often that the IP holder will give away rights to many parties because they don't understand the industry to which they're giving some of these things away. Very often, they give rights to an agent who then gives rights to other people. And then those contracts between the agent and the other parties are written in such a way that something happens or not. So everything's going to be different. I think Fantasy Flight has done a better job possibly of making sure they get control because they can do so many games. They might have to commit to X number of games to do it. Other companies have problems doing that. So Ignacy, I mean, you just did an IP game. I don't know what kind of rights craziness you had to go through. And obviously you have a system that you were going to implement with Dune. And therefore you didn't have to worry about somebody doing a game like it because, well, I mean, somebody could do a game like it, but it's a much harder thing. And you have the system down pat right now. So any other comments on getting a license on a major IP and how it'll be specific to you?
Yeah, very short. We don't know answer on the question from Jason. We don't know what's the deal between Upper Deck and FFG. And as you just said, these contracts are very specific. So even though I'm doing Dune House Secrets, I'm not allowed to do Dune dice game or Dune deck building game. Like, no, I have a contract to do the story-driven games that are somehow connected with the system of Detective, the board game. And this is my contract. And as you see on the shelves, there is different company who does Dune Imperium, and they have a contract for the deck building game, and there is a Dune strategy game. So exactly as Steven said, these companies sign many deals for, and sometimes because it was also quite public information, for some time FFG had the rights to publish with one of the IPs only miniature games, and with other IP only the card game. So the game had to have a cards. So the IP owner says, yes, this is a card game, so you can do it. So there are very specific contracts because, as Steven said, they want to sell as many as possible these contracts.
Very interesting stuff. With contracts are one of those things that can be almost anything can happen with these things. Christopher Sutphin asks, this is a very interesting question I read ahead. Most designers and industry professionals are active in the hobby industry as a secondary or supplemental job, since it's difficult to work, it seems, full-time and support yourself and your family solely through game revenue. Very true. My question is, have you seen a particular job or job skills, such as mathematics or engineering, that tend to find success in hobby game realm? Does it seem that certain personality types, like i.e. classic geeks or something else, feeds that fire? So he's not asking like what job is transferable into our industry here. He's asking, is there like a skill set or a background or a personality type that seems to gravitate and find success in this industry? I'm going to let you go first on this one, Ignacy.
I was thinking about this question before because I was preparing for the podcast, and I was thinking about my employees, and they're all so different. Like I have a bunch of kids here, and every kid is different. And I have extroverts and introverts. I have people who are like crazy like me, and I have people who are very strict, with everything on point. I'm looking for the talent. I'm looking for the different abilities to fulfill the job I need. But as for the character, they are so different, the people who are working here at Portal Games, and I love them all. So I don't see anything in common between this bunch of crazy people who are working for me.
That's interesting. So I've seen, and I made notes here as you were speaking. I believe that I have seen a lot of computer people end up in the industry and do very well. So if you had an IT background or some computer background, teachers, a lot of teachers end up in the industry on some level, and of course creative people, but people who create things, whatever things are, who write, who have physically created things for themselves or in other industries. That's what I've seen the best. I haven't seen, and it's interesting, and then again, it just might not, I might not know them, and there might not be as many. Like I haven't seen people like in engineering backgrounds or in mathematics, the things that he's mentioned. I have not seen that, but of course, like IT people in general, creative people and teachers outnumber probably those people overall. But it's a very interesting question about like personality types and stuff. It's something that would be an interesting study. Like what kind of person ends up succeeding in this industry? I want to commission a study on this, Ignacy. Joa Hogan, who's at Guildois, he asks, question for Ignacy. What's going on with the expansions for Monolith Arena? It's been more than a year, only 1 year? Come on, since the game was published, and only one expansion has come out, and even that can't be found anywhere. I love the game. It's part of the top 9 of all time, and really love to have more content.
Yeah, the question is from January 2020. Since then, we released another expansion, the second expansion. So there's 2 expansions on the market. And then, as we explain this podcast very often, at some time you say the numbers don't add up. It's time to close the line. That was true with Monolith Arena. We have 2 very similar games, Monolith Arena and Neuroshima Hex. Neuroshima Hex, due to the legacy it has here in Poland, has a very long legs, and we will support it for years. Even just releasing Polish. If nobody in the world plays Neuroshima Hex, we still release new expansion in Poland because the game is so popular here in Poland. With Monolith Arena, it is not the case. It is a brand new game. We released 1 expansion, we released 2nd expansion, we checked the numbers. Our sales team said, we recommend to stop the line, and we have to listen to our sales team. So nothing new will show up for Monolith Arena. And I always say very openly, if you love the game, any game, Portal games, Stronghold games, any game, if you love it, you need to support the publisher if you want to support for the game. You need to go to these Facebook groups and show the picture that you are playing and say, I love this game, guys, you should check it out. And you have to go to Board Game Geek and rate this game because you love it. You have to support the publisher because you just loving the game is not enough for the publisher to make the sell, to make the promotion of the game, and to continue with the support. So Monolith Arena is the example. I personally love the game. I have it in my collection at home. But the game was closed because there was not enough love and support from the players to help us promote this game. Sad story.
Yeah,
but
no,
true
that's
story.
most games are exactly that. And it's not, and as you made it very clear there, it's really not on the publisher. It's on the gamer. Gamers have to show the support by buying it, of course, by talking about it, by playing it in public. It's the only way. You need a groundswell of support to continue a line. Paul Lawrence, who's at Evil Bob.
And can I one more thing? Because
one more thing.
Yeah, example from me as a gamer, but from this perspective of publisher, because I'm publisher. This Sunday, I played Imperial Struggle from GMT. Amazing game. I love the game. Imperial Struggle, I recommend. And what I did, knowing that this is how you help these designers, how you help the GMT, I posted a tweet saying the name of the designer, tagged him, and I said, Imperial Struggle is a brilliant design. And this is me showing the love for the game, being a public, how I love the game, and helping spread the good word about the game that I think deserves the more love from the gamers. And this is true for all of you. If you love any game that you are playing, be vocal about it. It will help designer and publisher.
Excellent, excellent. Paul Lawrence, he's at Evil Bob. I love that name. Do you think boards and pieces will evolve in the near future? For instance, a smart electric board, each player using their phone as a secret sideboard, augmented reality, either via glasses or phone or something else. And he loves the show. And so guys, we've talked about like this quite a bit, and we've even given examples of how it's working. I mean, I think that the short answer to this question is yes, because technology moves forward. It's easier to do things with it and implement things in board games. So everything he mentions here, yes, will be part of it. This is going to be a slow process, of course, though I think it's moving faster than I would have even guessed because of the amount of integration that we see between, especially your iPhone, right? Your phones picking up things and doing things. That's been the biggest thing. And then the ones that actually take you through the story and make you do things on a board. It's pretty amazing stuff what we have already.
And I think the big challenge for the industry is not for the designers to come up with these ideas, but for the society to get used to that. For instance, there is an amazing game from Renegade Games called The Search for Planet X. Brilliant deduction game that uses the phone. And it doesn't have like enough attention. It doesn't have enough love in the internet. I have this game in my collection. I love it. We played with many times my friends, but it uses the device. Every player has their device and they are putting there the data because you're an astronomer, you are looking for the planet, you have to analyze the space. So you're using your phone. Brilliant, one of the best, no, I think the best, not one of them, the best deduction game I ever played. But because it has the device, it is not that popular as it could be, because there's some people who say, I'm not playing with a mobile. So we wait for all of you to get used to that.
There you go. Yeah, look at this. Kevin Wardener at Jercules. He also asks about your design with Eric Lang, which is pretty funny since we just answered it, Kevin, but I wanted to mention that we saw your question. Nate, he's at Kung Fu Geek. What happened to Stronghold Games website? And when can I buy the TM Turmoil dual layer player boards there? Well, I obviously don't know all those things. However, Stronghold Games decided a while back not to sell promos any longer on their website, so you can't get it there. But Board Game Geek has all of the available promos. So go over to Board Game Geek, go to their store, and check out all the Terraforming Mars stuff, all the Portal game stuff, and all the stuff that we have given to Board Game Geek to sell, and they keep all that revenue, so it supports them. They kick the publishers back in ad credits, but it's a really great thing to support Board Game Geek, of course. And with that, Ignacy, I believe we have to go over to playtesting. All right, here in our play
And before
testing.
we start,
Constantly interrupting me, Ignacy. What?
before we start, it's because of my love to our listeners. There was a ton of feedback on our previous question about how we need to change our podcast. And the most frequent answer was people who want, and I fully understand and I support, and we just need to figure out, Steven, how to do it. They want us to read some of the comments, some of the answers for the question that we are giving. So each week we are answering the question, but we never read aloud their answers. So we have to figure out with Steven in the future how, if there is a special segment for that, or we will just split the playtesting. We have to come up with the idea. But thank you for the feedback. We read it, we understand it, and we support it.
I was going to say that, but okay. Thank you for cutting me off.
You can say that with better English.
No, it was perfect. Thank you, everybody, for that feedback. One of the things we noticed absolutely was that they want to know what we think about their answers. So we have to figure that out, like how we'll do that. Since I do all the work for this damn podcast, Ignacy's got to go do something. So he's going to go scrape that. No, we'll figure it all out and how we can get some of that incorporated here. But the first thing was that you wanted more questions and you wanted us to talk more about those answers, more engagement, which is great. We want to engage. We love everybody out there. If that's not obvious from this podcast, then we're obviously doing something wrong. We love you guys. We do want to engage more. But this week we go outside of the board game industry again, mostly. I think that, we're all bigger. We're all very complex people, and things out there have an effect on us, and we want to ask questions about them. So my question there to Ignacy and to all of you out there is, there are and will continue to be huge supply chain issues across all industries, as we've discussed. This affects all of us in many ways, including holiday shopping. Certain products that you may want to gift to friends and family will be out of stock when the time rolls to buy. So, will you be shopping early this holiday season, like now, as you're listening to this, which is before Black Friday? After that, all bets are off, right? Regardless, are board games on your holiday gifting list this year? Ignacy, what are your plans? Because you're affected by this.
This is a great question, and I really super eager to see what are the answers. If people, after listening to this podcast for the past few months, understand the problem, and they will be one of those who say, I understand there is a supply problem in the industry, I will buy these games right now, just to be sure. So this is very cool to see if we educated our fans, and then they'll be so grateful for us that we warned them about the problems and they managed to buy the gifts. So very interesting question. For me, I'm not, because I buy very random games. I go to the store and I look at this and this looks interesting. So I don't have something that I need to buy it for Christmas, I need to buy it for holiday season, and then I'll be super disappointed it is not, because it was sold out. So I'm not going to do this. I will just go to this game store a few days before the Christmas and see what's on the shelves, and we'll pick one of the titles. But I'm super eager to see what's your behavior.
Yeah. So me, I'm a slug. I'm lazy, and I probably will not shop early. But I most of the people I buy for, I end up getting like real simple things. Like I buy them like gift cards, because I'm just like, again, I'm kind of lazy. And I've come up with some other interesting things to buy for, like Paula, right? For her birthday, for instance, I got her things like they were a trip, like a mini trip, like a day trip down to Miami. We went on that. I think I mentioned it. We went to see Little Havana, which is a neighborhood in Miami, a guided tour, and it was great. So I think I'm going to like look there to buy some more things. And I also got her, like, I did get some physical things. So I'm going to do a little combination of things, but I will probably be shopping late because it's in my general nature. For board games, I don't gift any board games to anybody, like, because I only buy for, like, close family. I don't buy for friends. If I was, I'd go find some board games. But again, I'd probably do it late because I'm a lazy bum.
We give the bad example. Don't listen to us.
Don't
Be
listen to
smart.
me. Do not listen to Bonacor. If you want something, as soon as you hear this, make your plans this week. But I'm being honest with you. That's just me. Make your plans this week on the weekend. Start shopping either, in person or go online and do it as either before Black Friday or as soon as that Black Friday thing comes, if you're looking for like a bargain or two. But I really think that bargains are going to be in shorter supply this year on the products that you really want. They'll still be bargains, but it might not be something you want to buy, right? Yep. Not everybody wants another set of headphones or something like that. Anyway, Ignacy is going to create a thread right now for you to answer our question to you for this episode. So please go to our guild on BGG and find our play testing thread for this question and post your answer there. Ignacy, stop coughing. Hit the cough button on your microphone.
I wish I could.
All right, everybody, let's get to the final scoring. Thank you all so much for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts, or now to watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. To ask us questions for our strategy and tactics segment, you must post them in the correct thread in our guild on Board Game Geek. To answer our question to you from our playtesting segment, also go to our guild on Board Game Geek and look for the thread with this episode's question. Board Games Insider has a Facebook page. Please like us on Facebook. Also on Facebook, please like Ignacy's page and Steven's page /Portal Publishing and /Podfather Gaming. Our websites are portalgamesus.com and podfathergaming.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletters, and get up-to-the-minute information on what's happening at Portal Games and with the Podfather. On social media, you can speak directly to Ignacy and Steven. On Twitter, it's @PortalGamesUS and @PodfatherGaming. Same on Instagram, and on YouTube, the channel names are Portal Games Movies, Portal Games Gameplays, and the Podfather of Gaming. We hope to see you at an upcoming convention real soon. Board Games Insider was professionally edited by Matthew Jude from This Game is Broken podcast. And if you'd like him to edit your podcast, please contact him on Twitter or email at thisgameisbrokenpodcast@gmail.com. Also, that great voice you hear doing the intro, outro, and in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. He can be contacted to do voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Ignacy, I see you put something down here, something that you're going to tell everybody right now, special.
Yeah, I came up with this idea that I can spoil you. I can tease you one of the episodes of the vlog. I record the vlog every single day. 100 vlogs, 100 days, crazy project. And today we recorded with Marek my new vlog. And in this vlog, I tell a story how FFG rejected a prototype I submitted to them in 2004. So yes, I was almost published as a FFG designer. But I was not, because they rejected. So if you want to see what game I submitted and how it ended up, I mean, you know the end story, but how it happened, check out my vlog. Every day I try to put some interesting stories from Portal Games.
That's a great one. How did FFG turn down Ignacy? Why did they turn down Ignacy? What crappy game? I mean, what wonderful game did he pitch to them? Did it become a game later on under Portal? You will find out by checking out his vlog. Great one, Ignacy.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I can't shut it off.
What?
Oh, there it goes.